This is Backspace Diaz, and you're watching GuyDance. What up, everyone? Thanks for tuning in. In this episode, we discuss who our influences were and continue to be. Of course, we're talking hip-hop. When anyone first experiences this culture, they are exposed to seeing something on screen, online, or on hand. Keeping in touch with your first influences, inspirations, and experiences is what keeps anyone sharp in the discipline or practice that they're in. Sharing those stories may educate or inspire others, as it also helps us remember and reflect. As we have grown to affect others, many may wonder how we came to be the people that we are today, or at least how we came to do what we do. There's that saying that many people use over and over again, about how it's never about the destination, but the journey. It is kind of true though. And that is why we took the time to film this during our journey to a competition. One of many. Journeys, that is. We hope you are inspired and reflect on your beginnings, as we have while doing this.
A lot of influences, man. But
influence, that was one of them?
yeah, bro. Like, man.
So my,
Go ahead. You can set them
my
off,
influences
Go for days on
coming
that.
up was, I started in 98, so we got our hands on, I want to say it was Summit 99 was the first one that they put out on VHS. B-Boy Summit.
Summer 99, Ron Uncut, yeah.
Yeah, so that was the joint that this kid named Black Manny, we called him Black Manny, he actually got the tape and brought it to the Boys and Girls Club. So I saw a lot of the guys like K-Mel, Wicked, you know, fucking, I love that 90 that dude does. He killed that shit. I don't know what it was, but anyways, guys like that, Flowmaster, I saw all those dudes, and I didn't try to like copy them, but I try to imitate the move that they were doing. So like if they did a 90, then I would do a fucking 90, you know, like I was like, okay, so how can I spin on my one hand? So those guys, I had influence on a lot of those guys, and Ivan too, because they had that battle, right? That's the one that K-Mel and Ivan had the battle in, right? That was it? Alright, so yeah, I got the right video then.
Yeah, on stage, right, with Wicked?
Yeah, but they also did like a, they did a cypher battle too. Is that the same video? They did a cypher battle, him and K-Mel. It was Ivan versus K-Mel.
Yeah. It was a cypher battle.
So that joint. So those are some of my influences. Right now, who I like, you know, I also watch a lot of the West Coast guys like Cujo, you know, who else that I really enjoyed watching? I really enjoyed watching Moy. I actually like Moy. Moy's a dope B-boy, yo. He was an influence. I even told Moy one time in a battle that I was going to battle him. And I remember when I was coming out, I was like, yo, I'm going to battle you one day, son. And that was in Connecticut. I think Problems threw that jam. That was when a lot of niggas came out from not overseas, but came out of state to come for that jam. Anyways,
was
it
it
was the illest. Yeah, that jam. So that shit was sick. So I got that's some of my influence. Now I really enjoy Kid Glide, man. Like I like watching him dance. I know he's my crew member and everything, but he inspires me because his flow is just smash smooth. You know, he kills dudes with just footwork and just, you know, just his finesse and style, man. I think that's very impressive. So anybody want to take the floor, man? That's my influences. Those are, you know, the people that I currently look up to. Oh, I like Victor too. You know, young Victor, B-Boy Victor, man, he's dope. The kid has been doing putting a lot of work, and that shows that when you really take the time out and you practice hard body, man, yo, anything is possible, man. That kid is so light. Everything he does look mad effortless. You know, shit. I wish I could get back to that weight class. You know, I ain't in that weight class yet, man. But shit, if I was that light, bro, I'd be flying too. I promise you. So yeah, I'm gonna let somebody else jump in, man. Give their influences and shit, man.
Where's Space at, man?
You got Space?
Where's Mr. Miyagi? Where's Mr. Miyagi,
What
man?
up, yo?
Space.
B-Boy Backspace. My influences started way back from when I started. It was my crew, you know, Top Rock Crew. It stood for the only people rocking our city kids.
Wow.
And even that itself inspired me and opened me up to the creativity. The founder of the crew came from Chicago, and he came through. He was a popper. His name was Rec, and he just put us on. There was a tape. It's called The Mighty Pop-A-Lots. It's a cheesy tutorial VHS tape, and when you see see it, it's like super cheesy.
There's like a lot of those VHS tapes that are cheesy as hell.
To do a top rock, you put your foot out like this, like my Mohawk friend is doing. You know, it's just crazy. It was cheesy, but we learned a lot, you know, from that, I gotta say. Then when Beat Street came out, that when I first saw that battle, and I just saw them go on in. I saw Kuriaki do those turtles, and I just knew this was something that I was gonna do for the rest of my life.
This man got some turtles too.
I was like, yo, this is something I'm gonna do. This is who I am. It was like just finding a piece of yourself, and for a minute, I remember flashing back now, thinking about that day, being like, yeah, this is who you're gonna be. You were gonna rock this. These are the things you're gonna do with yourself. And here I am, you know, 20-something years later, doing that. But in the process, I have been inspired by so many b-boys and non-b-boys, you know, so many different influences. You know, as far as b-boys go, you know, when Battle of the Year 98 came out on VHS, this was before internet, before YouTube. That's how long I've been around for. So that means it's over.
Before internet, before YouTube.
But it's still rolling.
Yeah, for real, right? That was perfect.
It's still rolling? It's still turning? Yeah, it's still turning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, keep it going.
Alright, so you know
what happened.
So when Battle of the Year 1998 VHS.
You probably pressed the button.
Yeah.
See if it's on. Yeah.
So one of my biggest influences came in the form of a VHS tape. This was before YouTube. It was Battle of the Year 98 that came out. I didn't even know that other crews were out there. When I first did it, it was like, yo, I just want to be, you know, I just want to capture and be like my inspirations that I saw on TV or whatever. You know, we saw a music video and someone was doing a move. I would call my friend like, yo, put it on that channel, yo, check it out. Yo, he's gonna do that move, yo, this is that move I was talking about. You know, it wasn't something like you just like look it up and then you see like 40 videos of the same move, you know, which is definitely a good thing nowadays. But back then you had to really dig, you know, and we just learned so many things back then that people don't really have today that makes our generation different. You know, we had to get the cardboard together. You know, someone was responsible for getting the tape. Someone had to go get the batteries. Someone had to go bring the radio, the broom to, you know, sweep all of the rocks from off the floor. Those are the best times, and well, it's the best times from my experience because I think it taught every individual within the crew to pull their weight. Even if they weren't the best dancer, or even if they were the best dancer out of everyone still had a task to fulfill before anyone even got down. You know, someone had to, you know, bring something to the spot, whether it was a broomstick, a radio, you know, a hat, anything like that. And that's how we all looked out for each other. So that experience is so much inspiring because I don't see that nowadays anymore. You know, I'll be seeing people post like, yo, I'm going to practice, and everyone just, yo, who's going? Oh, I don't like that floor. Oh, yeah, I don't like the music that one brings. I'm not coming to practice. I'm not going to do that today. You know, and it's like people do things on their own terms now, which in some ways is good, but as a crew, I think that, you know, if people aren't holding their own weight, you know, it's just that much more difficult to get along. Now, going back to my inspirations as, you know, people, those are my inspirations, is those situations were my inspiration.
That's right.
But as far as b-boys go, you know, you have the classic people, the people that everyone will know. You know, you have Ken Swift, you know, all the people from B Street, you know.
Ken Swift is one of mine too, yo.
Ken Swift, you know, the Crazy Legs, the Buck 4, Kiriakis, rest in peace, all those legends. We have people nowadays that were still back then, you know, we have people from the Floor Lords, there's so many that, like, it would be disrespectful, I think, to name a few of the names and then forget other names.
Damn, bro, why you calling me disrespectful, man?
There's so many names, dude. Because there's like, for every name I remember, there's probably 10 that I should remember. You know,
see, that's crazy though.
That's the deal.
For your style wise though, you know, like what, like build around your style though, because like if I talk about just my style, there's only a select few. I can name 5 that really cement my style. Like I say, yeah, inspiration as far as b-boying and the whole hip hop and all that, but like for your style, like there has to be a few that you can say, yes,
oh yeah,
these were the ones. Like,
definitely.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's how I look at when I talk about influence, because it's like, yeah, I have my brother, I have so many, but like who really helped build my style to what it is today? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Now, as far as who really inspired me and made me want to be the shit, B-Boy K-Mel, you know, going back to that Battle of the Year 98, he was in the shows, you know, because in Battle of the Year, you qualify by doing a show. I don't see that nowadays, you know. The way you even get into the battles is, can you perform? You know, that's one of the best things, because nowadays people are just one-sided. They just want to battle, you know, they just want to do something. They don't want to uplift anymore, you know. So that's one thing, one aspect of that jam that I can appreciate. But K-Mel, he did the shows, you know, and then in the battles he held his own. You know, I didn't really think about freezes that much until I saw him just get down. He was well-rounded. He had a little bit of everything. And even he had other dance styles, and he still can dance all those different styles. So once I saw that, it was like, oh, this makes so much more sense. I realized the opportunities that I have. You know, I thought I was getting good until I started seeing that, and it was like, whoa, there's so much more to learn, yo. So I got to give it up to K-Mel for that. You know, one of my biggest inspirations around here, B-Boy Maximus, I got to say, you know, we butt heads.
Maximus!
What up, bro?
What up?
Yo. He knows his thing. He knows the history of a lot of dance, and he could dance all styles. To me, he's one of the best dancers I've ever seen. You know, just growing up and seeing him and just understanding where he comes from, and just opening my mind to, you know, when you meet people, whether they're not even b-boys. My bad. But yeah, yo, like all of those
driving crazy.
So, yo, shout out to all the b-boys out there, especially the pioneers, because, you know, without the pioneers, a lot of people wouldn't even know where we're at now.
That's right.
You know, I got to give it up for our generation of b-boys who've been dancing 20 years plus, but are definitely not OGs yet. This dance is so new,
I look young.
and we've been so involved for so long. I consider us the first generation of middle b-boys, where we're not OGs and we're not rookies, you know. So I find that our responsibility is to keep, you know, everything intact, you know, use our fundamentals, our foundation, and show the future what we could do with it. You know, we kind of did set the standard, and now, well, obviously the pioneers set the standard, but we set the standard in terms of taking a base, a foundation, and carrying that further. You know, hopefully there's a lot of hopefully our future will keep doing that. So I look forward to seeing that happen. Shout outs to all the B-girls out there too. There's a lot of inspiration there. And yeah, man, shout outs to Reese, also one of my influences. He taught me that you don't have to just be one-sided and do one thing. You know, when he started DJing, I was like, dude, what are you doing DJing? What, you can't hold it down with the B-boys? But now, years later, this guy is DJing jams. You know, he's providing music for me, you know, helping me elevate myself. So I couldn't even continue my growth if it wasn't for him. And that definitely opens me up, and I should share that with everybody. It's like, yo, b-boying is ill, battling is ill. If you want to smoke someone, that's cool, but then what? You know what I'm saying? Like,
sounded like Max right there.
You could only be so toned, so fit, so, you know, so awesome. Like, then what? What are you gonna do? What can you contribute or give back? That's the next level. So yeah, you want to go make a name for yourself, you know, but what are you gonna do with that name? That's the real question you should be asking yourself. And who are you gonna help with that? Because you could have a cool name, you could be awesome, you know, Mr. Awesomeness, but if you're not doing anything with it, then what is it worth? All right, so
Thanks to DJ B-Boy Reese. And now I'm gonna give it up to Breezy.
Spinning on their head like crazy. I was like, yo, I was just amazed. So from there on, that's kind of like where I was like, I need to practice that, windmills, all that good stuff. Style didn't really develop till like later on. I was in 2005, mid-2005, when we started like being exposed to other jams and other b-boys, and started meeting all the older b-boys that were just there, like, you know, throwing that constructive criticism. Bam, I ain't touching. I ain't touching this time, folks.
This is a lot of new stuff that I'm learning. I'm learning more about the scene that I'm currently involved in. And it's interesting to learn this history and actually meet the guys who sort of paved the way for most of Worcester, you know, majority of the Worcester b-boys to even be dancing now. Is these guys right here. These guys laid the foundation for Worcester, and, you know, they've obviously picked it up from some, you know, from older generations, but, you know, these are the guys that are holding it down now and keeping it alive and still doing the shows, still, you know, keeping with their networks and their contacts and stuff like that with this b-boy lifestyle, b-boy life here in the Mass area, Central Mass area, you know. So yeah, Reese, want to pick it up again and finish it off a little bit?
So yeah, like I said, my influences were that, you know, 7 Jams, Rocksteady Crew, the Floor Lords, because they were throwing jams all over the whole New England area at the time. The Pomeland days in Providence, Rhode Island, when you had the little underground spot when you had Ivan come out all the time. I would say Ivan's a big influence too. You know, I'm still learning some things. You know what I mean? That's another thing, is like you gotta stay humble, man, and not just think, okay, I already been there, done that. You know, you just gotta, you know, once a student knows a student, you know, and I'm still learning new things from new kids nowadays. Another kind of influence that's been on me lately is another influence has been on me is cats from Russia, bro. Like, them dudes
Russia
are original. Like, I see a lot of the Russian cats, like, you know, Poland, Russia, in that area, and they're just getting it in, man. And you know, everything is just so now today it's like everything is so watered down, man. Like, not a lot of people are digging for research, you know. They just want everything handed down to them. And that's the thing with us, like, we never really had that. We didn't, you know, cats nowadays are fortunate to have the YouTubes and all the social media and everything else. But back then it was like, bro, if once you ran into a tape, or you ran into a certain tape where you're like, you knew about a certain b-boy, and then you've seen this b-boy live, and it's like, yo, that's the dude. And then you see the moves, and, you know, it's not the appearance, it was like by the way that other person moved, like, yo, that's the dude. That's that dude from that video, you know what I mean? And a
lot of that VHS shit was blurry.
Yeah, it was blurry, and it wasn't HD like it is nowadays.
I think that's Homeboy.
But in conclusion, man, yeah, man, that's kind of like where everything branched off for me, and just to be here with everybody here, you know, to take this trip, it's a blessing, you know, because 20 years later, we're still doing this. You know, we all come from different backgrounds, you know, different cities and all that, you know, and then we're still here today. You know, I never expected to be still doing this, you know what I mean? And yeah, that's where it goes.
Dope, man. I know the audience are gonna love the history. There's a lot of history going on right here.
And there's still more. I'm just trying to shorten things down. Might be damn.
No, go ahead.
You know, there's still a lot.
So I just want to talk about influences. I started breaking back in 2007, and it's not that back, but I'm not that old. I'm only 25 years old. When I was 15 years old, I started dancing when I was like 14, and that's just off movement and motion, not even off foundation. And I continue on dancing for 5 years, just motion and movement, no foundation, no motion, just.
You did 5 years of that?
It's a hobby, yeah, I did.
Wow. That's some impressive shit, honestly.
In 2010, 11, around in 2011, the homie Fuse from True Crew.
What up, Fuse? Love you.
What up, Fuse?
Shout out to Fuse.
You already know.
What's up, bro?
Fuse moved out to Springfield. He was out there, you know, taking up school. And at the time, H Legion was in Springfield, was the only crew in Springfield. We used to go out to Connecticut a lot, but not really much the Boston scene. And so, me being young, I was new to breaking. I didn't even know breaking was even going on in Worcester or in Boston. I just seen it on TV and I knew it was going on in my city. In Connecticut. I didn't even know it was this deep until I met Fuse. Fuse was pretty much the one who broke me down and made me back up, opened my eye to what the real hip hop is. I was young, and at the time before me and him, I was just getting influenced by anybody who surrounded me. And where I live, it's not a good neighborhood, so I was getting myself into the wrong things. And the sad thing about all that is because I come from a good family. So I think Fuse a lot for getting me out of trouble and taught me to take that trouble somewhere else. Taught me how to use that trouble and start it somewhere else, and that was in breaking. And not to start trouble, but to make noise for yourself, represent who you are, represent who you come from, represent who you represent.
That's right.
The man taught me history. He spoke to me a lot about Maximus. And he told me that Maximus taught him history.
Max, you know mad shit, bro.
Yeah, that's like KRS-2, nigga. KRS-2, man. Got Mr. Miyagi, KRS-2, son.
What Wu-Tang said?
You know better than that.
Form like Voltron, he's the head. Like, right?
We might even have a little, a little phone conversation with the nigga.
For real, right?
Call that man.
Yo, hit that nigga up. Listen, bro, I got you on speaker,
We'll put him on speaker real quick. I think we might have to do that.
That'd be ill, man.
You're gonna have to hit up Max. That's one of Fuse's favorite questions too. Yo, you here for school? That's the first thing he asked me when I met him. He was like, yo, you here for school, son? And I was like, well, yeah. That's a cool man, yo. Shout out to Fuse, man.
Yeah. But yeah, that was my biggest influence. And I can't really speak upon influenced by other people that already made history, because I didn't really know what history was until I met him.
There you go.
Do what you love what you do. Be inspired, I support you. I love you all. Stay tuned. Peace.